People do not pay attention to backup quarterbacks. Mark Sanchez, he was on top of the world in New York. Only player at the time to beat Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in the same playoff run. He was dating Eva Longoria, I believe it was, publicly, to $50 million contract. He was Mark Sanchez. When he came to Philly to back up Nick Foles, wasn't nobody paying him no mind nationally with the media.
You crazy, man. Sanchez and Sanders.
At the time,
is different last names. The number 3 jersey sold.
Let me say it straight. This doesn't feel like hype. This feels different. If you've followed the Cleveland Browns for any length of time, if you've lived through the heartbreak, the false hope, the jerseys with names of the next guy crossed out one after another, then you know exactly what I mean. This isn't some overblown training camp story. This is something we haven't seen in decades. Shedeur Sanders isn't just surviving camp. He's taking over. And I don't throw that around lightly. Look, I know what you're thinking. It's camp. It's shorts. It's drills. Calm down. But no. Watch what's actually happening. Watch the body language of his teammates after each rep. Watch how veterans are starting to gravitate toward him. Read the reports. The accuracy? It's elite. Not good for a rookie elite. I'm talking about, how did this guy fall to the 5th round? Elite. He's throwing lasers. He's reading defenses like a guy who's been in the league for years. He's standing in the pocket like he belongs. And most importantly, he's making everyone around him better. And that's what hits me the hardest. Because we've seen talented quarterbacks come through Berea before. We've seen hype. We've seen flash. But we haven't seen this. This poise. This composure. This quiet control of the field. This isn't Johnny Manziel running on adrenaline. This isn't Baker Mayfield's chip turning into chaos. This feels measured. This feels real. Make it make sense. How does a quarterback with Shedeur's resume, his pedigree, his production, fall to the 5th round? And now, just weeks into camp, he looks like the most NFL-ready quarterback on the roster? That's not luck. That's not hype. That's a franchise accidentally stumbling into the spark they've been praying for. And it's not just about him. It's about the city. You can feel it in Cleveland right now. A fan base that's been bruised for decades isn't just cautiously hopeful. They're starting to believe. And that belief, that's dangerous, because belief changes everything. So here's the question. Is this just a rookie making noise in camp, or is this the moment Cleveland has been waiting for? Because if you ask me, this doesn't feel like another false dawn. This feels like the first chapter of something big. And if you're not feeling it yet, just wait. Let's talk about this quarterback room because, honestly, it's one of the most fascinating and frustrating depth charts in the league right now. On paper, it looks like a competition. In reality, it feels like a ticking time bomb, and Shedeur Sanders might be the spark that blows it all up. Start with Kenny Pickett, the so-called safe option. Let's be real, Kenny isn't bad, but he isn't the guy you build a franchise around. Pittsburgh gave him 2 seasons, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and when it came time to commit, they didn't. He's in Cleveland not because he was indispensable, but because the Steelers could move on without losing sleep. He's a bridge quarterback, stable, predictable, uninspiring. He won't sink the ship, but he's not steering it anywhere new either. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, the smart rookie. He processes well. He's got that coach's kid feel, that mental edge you love in the film room. But this is the NFL, not Oklahoma. Those windows he used to thread in college, they don't exist here. His arm is fine, not great. His size? A concern. And when the game speeds up, and trust me, it always does, will his mind compensate for his physical limitations? That's a gamble at best. And then there's Joe Flacco, the veteran, the steady hand, the guy who walked in last season and brought stability when the sky was falling. He's the mentor, the teacher, the fallback plan. But let's be honest, Joe is 39. He's not the future. He's barely the present. He's there to guide, not to lead a Super Bowl run. And then, there's Shedeur, the wild card. The one who doesn't just play the game, he changes the energy of the room. Charisma? Off the charts. Poise? Like he's been here for a decade. And the raw upside? It's why this whole thing feels so electric. When Shedeur steps on the field, there's a shift. He's not just competing for reps. He's making players believe. And in a city like Cleveland, that belief is everything. Because here's the thing. This isn't just about who throws the prettiest spiral or who can memorize Kevin Stefanski's playbook the fastest. This is about identity. The Browns have been stuck in quarterback purgatory for decades. You've seen the jersey, That infamous jersey of broken promises, the one with the endless names of quarterbacks who came in with hype and left with disappointment. Couch, Quinn, Whedon, Manziel, Mayfield, Watson. Each one sold as the savior. Each one crossed off like the last. So here's the question. Is Shedeur Sanders finally the one who rips that jersey off the wall for good? If you look at the camp reports, at the way this kid is outshining everyone else in drills, how long can Stefanski really keep him off the field? How long before the safe pick, the mentor and the cerebral rookie give way to the guy who's already showing he might be the future? Because if Shadeur is already the best quarterback in the room, how much longer can they justify not starting him? Let's call it what it is. The disrespect has been loud, relentless, and honestly ridiculous. The speeding ticket controversy plastered all over headlines like it somehow defines him. Tony Grossi, with a straight face, going on air and predicting Shedeur Sanders will spend a lot of this season inactive on Sundays. Inactive? For a quarterback with this pedigree, this production, and this poise? That's not just doubt, that's disrespect. And then the lazy narrative we keep hearing, he doesn't know the terminology. Really? That's what we're running with now? A rookie quarterback learning an NFL playbook, the most complex in football, somehow doesn't deserve credit for outplaying veterans because of terminology? Make it make sense. But here's the part they don't talk about. The people in the building, the ones who see him every single day, are saying something completely different. ESPN Cleveland has been raving about his willingness to fire confidently into tight windows. His mechanics? Already NFL ready. His poise? Like someone who's been here before. That doesn't sound like a kid lost in a playbook. That sounds like a quarterback who knows exactly what he's doing and isn't afraid to prove it. And you know what? This isn't new. We've seen this story before. Tom Brady, a sixth-round nobody with a chip on his shoulder, humiliated by where he got picked. Aaron Rodgers, sitting for hours on draft day, stewing as his name slid down the board. Jalen Hurts, benched on the biggest stage in college football and told he'd never be an elite passer. What did they do? They weaponized the disrespect. They turned it into fire. They came back for blood. That's exactly what Shadeur is doing right now. Every headline, every snide analyst take, every dismissive comment, he's storing it. He's using it. He's sharpening it into an edge that makes him more dangerous than any rookie quarterback who just quietly fits in and waits his turn. And that should terrify the rest of this Browns QB room, because talent alone makes you good. But talent with a chip on its shoulder, that makes you unstoppable. And here's the thing. Shadeur isn't clapping back on social media. He isn't begging for validation. He's doing what real competitors do. Letting his game do the talking. Every crisp throw, every veteran-level read, every moment in camp where teammates look at him and see not just a rookie, but a leader. This isn't noise anymore. This is fuel. And the more they doubt him, the more dangerous he becomes. Because the truth is simple. Shedeur Sanders isn't just fighting for a starting job. He's fighting to rewrite the narrative. And the scariest part, he's already doing it. This right here, this moment, was always coming. And if you've been paying attention, none of this should surprise you. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback trying to survive in the NFL. He's a product of a blueprint, a very specific one, the prime blueprint. When you grow up as Deion Sanders' son, you don't just learn how to play football. You learn how to carry yourself when the lights are blinding and the cameras are rolling. You learn how to craft your story before anyone else can tell it for you. You learn how to outwork everybody in the room, not because it's easy, but because greatness demands it. Deion didn't just give Shedeur swagger. He gave him a system for living. Control the narrative. Work like nobody's watching. Be undeniable. And Shedeur? He took all of that and upgraded it for his era. This is Prime 2.0. This is a quarterback who isn't just playing the game. He's mastering it on and off the field. Look at his NIL deals in college. He wasn't just signing contracts. He was co-creating them. He wasn't just letting ESPN or Twitter shape his image. He was producing his own content, giving fans unfiltered access to his life and his grind. That's not ego. That's strategy. In 2025, when branding is as much a weapon as a playbook, Shedeur is already playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. But don't confuse that flash with fluff, because the grind is still very real. At Jackson State, he wasn't just Deion's kid parachuting into an HBCU. He turned a program into a national headline. He carried that locker room. He thrived under the weight of expectation that could have crushed most young quarterbacks. Then came Colorado. And if you want to know what someone is truly made of, watch what they do when everything around them is falling apart. That offensive line, historically bad. The media noise, deafening. Yet Shedeur still put up over 3,200 yards and 27 touchdowns. He didn't fold, he didn't run, he elevated. And that's what makes him different. That's what makes him dangerous. He's been preparing for this moment his entire life. He knows what it means to be the face of a franchise in 2025. It's more than third and long conversions and red zone efficiency. It's about inspiring a locker room. It's about connecting with a city that's been starved for hope. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a rookie quarterback. He's a cultural force. He's the living embodiment of a blueprint designed for moments like this. And Cleveland? You've been waiting for a hero like this for decades. And the scariest part? He's just getting started. I'm going to say it, and I want you to really let it sink in. Shedeur Sanders might be the quarterback who finally delivers Cleveland its first Super Bowl since 1964. Yeah, I know how that sounds. I know this city has been sold hope before. I know you've been through the heartbreak, the false dawns, the endless jersey of broken promises. But tell me this, doesn't this moment feel different? Doesn't this kid feel different? This isn't just another rookie quarterback hoping to survive. This is a fifth-round pick who should have been a first-rounder, a player the league overthought and overlooked until Cleveland accidentally pulled off the biggest heist of the draft. They didn't just get value, they didn't just get a backup, they got one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks in the entire class, and they got him when nobody else had the vision or the guts to make the call. That's not luck, that's fate. Think about what we've seen already. He's walked into one of the most chaotic quarterback rooms in football. Veterans with chips on their shoulders, rookies fighting for relevance, coaches balancing egos and expectations, and instead of shrinking, he's owning it. He's out there throwing with confidence, reading defenses like a veteran, and making throws that are turning heads in Berea. This isn't hype. This is production. This is presence. And when you've got a young quarterback doing that in July, what does it look like by December? Now picture this. It's February 2026. Confetti is falling. The Lombardi Trophy is finally in Cleveland. And at the center of it all is a rookie who refused to believe the narrative that said he wasn't ready. A rookie who turned the disrespect into fuel. A rookie who didn't just play quarterback, he changed the culture. If that sounds crazy, remember, the greatest championship runs often do. The 2007 Giants. The 2017 Eagles. Nobody saw them coming until they couldn't be stopped. So here's the question every Browns fan needs to ask themselves. Are you ready to believe? Are you ready to stop bracing for heartbreak and start embracing the possibility that this, right now, could be the start of something legendary? Because Shedeur isn't just here to take reps. He's here to take over. He's here to rip that cursed jersey off the wall once and for all. He's here to make this city believe again. So buckle up, Cleveland. Rally behind this kid. Because if Shedeur Sanders is who I think he is, who he's already showing us he is, then we might be watching the birth of the most improbable, unforgettable story in Browns history. And when that confetti falls, when Shedeur hoists that trophy, you're going to want to say you were here from the very beginning. This isn't just a prediction, it's a promise. Shedeur Sanders is about to shock the NFL, and it starts right now.